What up, guys? M.V.K here, back again. I'm the Geek High Lord of... Yeah. You guys hit that play button. God damn, you gonna get your entertainment's worth, as always. So, today, guys, we're gonna watch a top 10 list from Top Trending. I've had this in my pull list for a while. Don't worry, guys. I'm gonna start getting back to some of you guys' requests, as always. Like I said before, let me repeat. Usually, when I do a request of a reaction, I usually put it at the end. But since I'm not doing a request, but once again, you have requests for reaction vids you want me to react to, please don't be afraid to leave the link in the description along with the hashtag please react Chris. That's what you got to do. Don't just say, could you react to this? Give me the link. It helps me. It saves me time looking for it. Because sometimes somebody did that before, and people, sometimes they had the same link, and I'm like, okay, is this it? And then I did it, and then it was like, no, that's not it. So, yeah, give me the link. You know, whether you want to send me personal messages or put in the link below, please don't be afraid to do that. Having said that, once again, without further ado, let's see, no, sorry about that. We're going to watch Top 10 Trend. It's 10 dumbest pranks that went wrong. I like pranks. I like a good prank, and there's some dumb pranks. I ain't gonna lie. And you know, the dumber ones are the ones that can get you either killed, get fucked up, or just you know what. But yeah, since it's a top 10, I may chop out the last prank, just so you can go to the vid, link in the description below, to see what the number 1 was, or number 10, depending on how this video goes. But without further ado, once again, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Here we go. All right. Ooh, one of my favorite cars, Ferrari. I'm a big Ferrari man. I've been a Ferrari fan for years.
Robbery, the best April Fool's Day prank.
No, it's not.
Right? Well, in 2012, 3 young men masked up and decided to head to the center of Beit Shemesh, Israel, armed with toy guns. On arrival, they announced their intent to rob the kiosk, and their terrified friend handed over $1,100.
What?
The trio later returned to give back the money and reveal their joke, but the police arrested them and held them in custody for 2 days before they were charged with armed robbery, disturbing the peace, and threatening behavior.
See? Fucking up.
School spirit took a major hit after a senior prank went unexpectedly wrong in 2012. Their seemingly harmless joke was to let loose a dozen petting zoo goats out onto the school's football field.
Why?
But by bizarre circumstances, the petting zoo had recently been blamed for close to 100 cases of E. coli and a small child's death. Due to safety, the school unfortunately had to close the field during peak football season for 6 months straight. Nothing gets the adrenaline pumping like a blindfolded makeout session. At a school pep rally in 2011, an entire Minnesota community got together and pulled an eyebrow-raising prank, wherein several students were blindfolded and instructed to wait for a kiss from a special someone. This special someone ended up being their parents. With weird groping and lip lingering involved, therapy is not off the table. Nothing's better than free stuff. In 2008, a woman looking for free tickets to a Kanye West concert agreed to call her husband live on radio and tell him their son was not his. Bewildered and vengeful, the husband blurted out, "I've been screwing your sister for the last year." Their marriage was destroyed, and she still didn't get the tickets. In 2007, 19-year-old Chris Sheeby called 911 and identified himself as Sergeant Joseph Ramirez. He claimed that he had finished a tour of duty in Iraq and found his wife had cheated on him and taken their children. He said that he had shot one of his hostages and barricaded himself and 3 other highly trained but disgruntled Marines inside a house. After closing roads, a special response team discovered the hoax when the actual residents were contacted. The prankster Chris Sheeby was later taken into custody and charged.
Idiot.
Even dentists have a sense of humor. While Dr. Robert Wu did routine dental work on an employee who grew up on a pig farm, he decided to install false boar tusks and snag a few photos.
Are you fucking serious with that?
Since his scheme was premeditated, he removed the tusks but didn't have the forethought not to share the photos around the office. The employee didn't find becoming a pig at all humorous and sued her boss for $250,000. Aside from that, the real joke is that Wu was able to sue his insurance company for not covering him for $750,000 after his inappropriate prank. Two teen boys in 2011 thought they had a brilliant idea when they decided to wrap a stop sign with several layers of plastic wrap and petroleum jelly. Their ego was so inflated over this one that they even bragged about it on Facebook, which was great for the police when two women in their 80s drove through the stop and were hit by oncoming traffic. The boys pleaded guilty to charges of reckless homicide after both women died soon after due to the injuries.
No.
Two seniors in high school decided the best repayment for their dedicated education was to bake a special batch of brownies. Hot brownies. They were clearly caught by surprise because within hours, 19 teachers became ill and were rushed to the emergency room. Both students were charged with 5 felony counts of assault on a public servant and sentenced to volunteer work for their displaced charity. A 16-year-old Chicago boy with a punny attitude met an unfortunate fate when he asked a couple of men who turned out to be Vice Lord gang members,
no, I've heard of this one.
To die? With his friend present and filming, the prankster was supposed to pull a bottle of Clairol hair dye out of his pocket. Ironically, he was not quick enough on the draw, as one of the gang members pulled out a .22 and shot him to death multiple times in the head. Every high school senior wants to be remembered. This youngster thought the best prank would be to dress in all black and climb through the gym locker window to leave a sex doll in the girls' shower. Still boxed up, the youngster makes the climb and a concerned citizen calls the police over what they think is somebody planting a bomb. The school is evacuated and the student is charged with institutional criminal mischief, which comes with an 8-year sentence in jail. Luckily, he received a reduced sentence and a few weeks of community service.
Idiot. All right. I said I was going to chop out the one part, but you know what? I'll forget it. Anyway, yeah, I didn't. But really, the second to last one with the kid gumming up to one of the vice lords and saying, "You ready to die?" I've seen that. I saw that. I read that in the paper one time. I read that in the news. Yeah, guys, I watch the news. Yeah. And I read it in the newspaper as well. That shit ain't funny. That is not funny. There's no joke. You don't see. That's why I tell you sometimes. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's some pranks that you could tell are staged, and when some are not. A lot of these pranks that you see on YouTube and stuff, some of the majority of them are staged. I believe they're staged. Some of them are real and legit, and I'm like, the fuck, like, what's wrong with you? But when you're going into a known area that is, I don't want to say infested, but has a high level of gang activity. You see them on the street, you see them rocking the color, and you go walking up to them and say, "You ready to die?" What is going through your freaking mind when you say, that's like me going and walking up to one of the Latin kings like, "Yo, you ready to die? What you think gonna happen to me?" It's like, that is so stupid. It is the most stupidest thing anybody should ever think. That is not funny. That is not something that you should be saying. Look, we gonna prank these fools. Because you never know who is that mindset of that person. Doing a prank robbery, fuck that shit. No, you never know. You never know. Yeah, they went back and gave the money and tried, but still they were nope, nope. What kind of shit is this where a dentist pulls a prank and surgically puts boar tusk on a like? You know how pissed off I would be if my dentist. I wake up from the noxious oxide or the Novocaine, and I next I look in the mirror. I got boar's tusk coming around my face. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What would you do? And then Dennis over there like, I thought it'd be funny just to put that. I'm gonna beat his ass for that. I mean, like, no, that ain't funny. And I'm suing your ass. Yeah, like what kind of crap? That's malpractice, right? Yeah, stuff like that. Like who goes that far? Like there's a limit to a prank that's like okay, all right, it's a prank, but then there's just sometimes way too far, just way too far. And some of these were just way too far. Um, you gotta pick your pranks where and when. Um, Hence why sometimes I guess the best thing to do is when you prank people, just prank family. People that they will like but they'll forgive you. You pranking total strangers. You once again that key word. You never know. But yeah, man. Y'all guys tell me in the comment section below what did you think of these fools? You know, some of them just fools, dumb idiots. Jericho would say it better. Idiots, stupid idiots. Exactly. They should all go on the list of Jericho. Drink it in, man.